What's up, everybody? This is Dominic DeAngelo of WrestleZone.com, and it is episode, 14, I think, of WCW Rewritten. And yes, we are rewriting WCW. Well, I'm not, but hey, my degenerate brother Marcus over here is. Hey, Marcus,
you okay right now?
Himself. How are you today?
Hello, hi Dominic, hi everybody out there. We had a little time off there. First, it was Memorial Day weekend. I was away, and then Dominic was in Jacksonville for AEW Double or Nothing. So we had to take a couple weeks off there, but we're back, and brother, we are better than ever. Kevin Davis, thank you for joining us. How are you today? Nesha, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Guys, we really appreciate you being here. Feel free to jump in with any questions, comments, concerns, whatever you got in mind. And Dominic and I will do our best to entertain you here for, I don't know, like half hour, 40 minutes, however long this thing takes.
Something like that. Yeah, that's how about we run here. Yeah, we're live, obviously. So, yeah, feel free to engage in on the conversation and get some stuff kicking. If you have any questions. Marcus, since we've had a couple weeks off, I kind of almost need a little bit of a refresher. Are you capable of doing that at this moment in time? Or how do you feel about giving us all a little refresher here?
Well, I mentioned before that this is not a soap opera, right? We don't do the old, like last week on The Young and the Restless. But that being said, because we've had 2 weeks off, I'll give you guys like kind of the bare bones of what's going on. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Six, and Kurt Hennig, along with Conan, and I'm just realizing how damn big this faction is. And Rick Rude, they formed not the NWO Wolfpack, the Wolfpack, and they're feuding with the old school guys that are still in the promotion. They're fed up with guys like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Arn Anderson. They're fed up with those guys still hanging around. But those guys are being joined by the likes of William Regal, Steven Regal, and Dean Malenko, and not to mention, I don't know, I feel like there's more. There's Tully Blanchard in there. So they're being joined by those guys, and it's kind of like they're warring back and forth. In the meantime, Bret Hart and Eddie Guerrero are having a feud, but Eddie Guerrero keeps dodging Bret Hart. He keeps pawning people off, basically saying, no, Bret, if you want a piece of me, you got to beat this guy. Then I'm trying to think what else. Scott Steiner's gone full-blown heel. Wrath is denying Goldberg's attempts to get a U.S. title shot.
Not Wrath. The NWO, by the way. Right?
Yeah, not Wrath for crying out loud. He's Brian Clark now because he's in the NWO. He's refusing his attempts to get a title shot. Hollywood Hogan is coming after Sting in that World Heavyweight Championship in a cage match that's already been scheduled for Uncensored. And Booker T and Canyon are in a best of 3 series. Booker T is up 1. They've got match 2 tonight. Who's going to go over? Seems obvious to me, but I don't know. But Dominic, that's going to be it for right now. You guys are just going to have to jump in. Best thing you can do, if you're not all caught up, go ahead and go back and listen to all of our episodes. For real, there's not that many. There's only, 13, 14, something like that. Well worth it. Nesha saying, Big Papa Pump, got your hookup. Holler if you hear me. I haven't done any of the Big Papa Pump shtick yet in any of his promos up to this point. Will I get there tonight?
Well, what's going to happen? Scott Steiner, it was a little bit of a tease. Like, they made up and were friends, him and Rick, the brother. They did a brotherly love hug. And then, sure enough, he turned on him. Nonetheless,
at the pay-per-view, he turns on his brother, thereby crowning Scott Norton and Brian Adams as the champions. Not Brian Clark, Brian Adams. Hollywood Hogan is trying to get all the major belts in WCW.
He's, going for it here. Marcus, I guess now's no better time to do it than, hey, how did you rewrite this episode of WCW Nitro?
Dominic, I think first you better give us the rundown.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh, shit. What's the date? What's the date on this? I totally forgot about that.
Dirtbag. Dominic, the date of this Nitro is 3/9/1998. By the way, this is the go-home show before Uncensored. So next week, guys, we're going to be doing a pay-per-view. WCW Uncensored 1998. We're laying out a couple of the matches tonight. Like I said, a couple of them are already set. We've got Sting facing down Hollywood Hogan. We've also got Kurt Hennig, who's taking on none other than Tully Blanchard at this event. So some really exciting stuff going on. Nesha, you're saying that you were 18 in 1998. Dominic, I was 11.
I was 13.
I was 11 going on. I mean, at this point in 98, in March, I was 11. I would have turned 12 in October.
Yeah, I was 12 and turning 13 in June.
Yep.
So, Yeah. Wow.
And I was the biggest Kevin Nash fan on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Love Kevin Nash. Still do.
Oh, yeah. Scott Hall was my guy. All right. So here's the results of the March 9th, 1998 Nitro. Marcus, where did this take place in?
Dominic, this took place in Saskatoon.
No, way off. Where, country brother? Woo! Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, shit, son.
Yes. So, okay, here's the results. The Cat defeated Damien. Sick Boy defeated Lenny Lane. Goldberg defeated Barry Darso. I wonder if he had the golfing gimmick at that point.
Ugh.
Malenko defeated Billy Kidman. Brian Adams defeated Chaos, who was with Rage of High Voltage.
Well, of course.
Yes. Scott Norton defeated Juventud Guerrera. Chris Benoit and Diamond Dallas Page.
Wait a minute. How about Scott Norton versus Juventud Guerrera? Come on now. That's
Yeah.
a wild matchup.
And like he was on MS at this point, and like that's pretty wild, right?
That's crazy.
Chris Benoit and Diamond Dallas Page fought Raven and Perry Saturn to a no contest. British Bulldog defeated Conan, who was with Vincent. The Chris Jericho successfully defended his cruiserweight title against Disco Inferno. Booker T defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. Ric Flair defeated Kurt Hennig, who was with Rick Rude by DQ. And the tag match was Lex Luger and Rick Steiner with Ted DiBiase fought Scott Norton. Also, in a second match of the night. Is this? I don't. How accurate are these things? I'm curious. Scott Norton and Scott Steiner to a double countout. And then in the main event was a 6-man tag team match, the NWO, which was Hollywood Hogan, the three originals, Hollywood Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall, with Eric Bischoff defeated Randy Savage, Sting, and the Giant. Man, this is right in the thick of our act.
Holy smokes. All right. Yeah, this was right in the middle of our fandom. I know that you and I were tuned in on that episode live. Just loving every second.
That Sunday, we tuned into the Uncensored on the Quigley lines.
Nesha saying she loved DDP. She misses Lex. There's this great photo of Dominic out there when he met DDP where he's shaking his hand, and Dominic, as he was shaking his hand, told him that he's been doing DDP yoga. And you know how DDP used to shake somebody's hand and they go to turn away and he pull them back in and get him with the diamond cutter? It looks like he's about to do that to Dominic in the photo, and it's one of the funniest photos.
Marcus, do you have that photo still?
It's somewhere. I think it's on Facebook or something, man.
Okay, I gotta find it because I have the other one with me and DDP, like where he were doing the diamond cutter thing together. But that was way back, man. Marcus, WrestleMania 29. So
that was WrestleMania 29. You and I were in line to meet DDP. Right afterwards, we were in line to meet Daniel Bryan. We were all pumped up, and then like it was right when you and I were about to get in, they switched it to Dolph Ziggler, AJ Lee, and Big E. But it was cool. We got to meet those guys, and they were all really nice.
Yeah. So pretty neat.
Yeah.
Cool, Marcus. Well, all right. Let's get to kicking here on this episode.
All right, here we go, Dominic. This is Nitro 3/9/1998, the go-home show before Uncensored, only available on pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we open Nitro in chaos as Raven, Riggs, and Saturn have Luger down by the loading dock in the backstage area and are putting the boots to him. Raven starts shouting that he wants to burn Luger as a statement against commercialism, and Saturn produces a can of lighter fluid and begins to spray the down Luger with it. DDP and Mongo run in to make the save. Mongo's back. You don't remember this last episode? He came in.
Did he really?
Yeah. Mongo came in. I think it might have been with DDP for the save.
Oh, does he got an eye patch on? I think we talked.
Yeah. So I have actually got this in my notes. It's actually one of the next things I'm going to say. They run in to make the save. Saturn and DDP go at it as Mongo and Riggs exchange blows. And you asked me about the eye patch last time, so I said, yes, Dominic. Mongo is wearing an eye patch, just like Riggs. And there's a number 76 on it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Mark, I got to Photoshop that now. I have to Photoshop that.
The baby faces get the advantage and the heels run off like scalded dogs. Mongo and DDP check on Luger as we head to the opening of Nitro. So the fire's rolling down the street. There's explosions. Lex Luger's flexing on a building and screaming. That's good shit. Shivani welcomes us to Nitro and reminds us that we are just 6 days away from WCW Uncensored, available only on pay-per-view. He tells us that matches are already set between the Wolfpack and the Gold Standard, but more will be set tonight, so we better stay tuned. Suddenly, the announce crew is joined on their platform by Mongo, DDP, and an injured Lex Luger. Mongo gets on the mic. Nate Johnson just said it's starting to be concerned you might do the pyro as much as Russo did the on a pole match. I'll tell you what, dude, the budget for pyro, I would love to see the numbers, because there was an explosion all like constantly throughout Nitro, right?
It was a lot.
They do it for people's entrances. They did it like as soon as they joined the announcers in the building and Tony Schiavone be screaming his head off. I would love to see what the budget was. I feel like I heard Eric Bischoff discuss it on 83 Weeks at one point, and I want to say that it was something like 10 grand per episode.
That's ridiculous. How
just
crazy
on
is
pyro.
that? Imagine you paying like a good cruiserweight that amount of money.
Dude, to produce a weekly television series like Nitro, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 400,000. So not only are they incurring all that cost, but then they're like, hey, let's spend an extra 10 grand on something superfluous like pyro.
Nesh is trying to remember if she ordered Uncensored 98. Nesh, if you need a reminder, this was my pay-per-view. This was my youth pay-per-view because Scott Hall had the world title match against Sting. So if that helps jog a memory. Or Macho Man also fought Hollywood Hogan in a steel cage. That's what happened in the main event there.
And which is what inspired the Hogan versus Sting, to be honest, in a steel cage. I just like steel cage blow-off matches. But then also Kevin Nash finally squared off against the Giant after injuring his face and eyes at Sold Out 1998 and his fucking neck.
Damn. I want to ask who won that, but I feel I should wait and just read the results next week
I think that's a wise decision.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Mongo gets on the mic. Tonight was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm fed up with standing by as the flock do their best to hurt other athletes the same way they hurt me. You temporarily blinded me in one eye, and you can bet I'm hungry for revenge. There is one good thing about losing part of my sight, though, because now I can finally see more clearly.
Marcus. Oh, that's a great line.
Right?
Damn, Marcus.
I see that I'm going to need to take drastic measures to exact my revenge. Scotty Riggs, you're only 50% in the vision department too, so I want to challenge you here and now. At Uncensored, let's completely dive into the darkness. I want you in a blindfold match, and you can bet I'll walk away with my head held high.
Oh my. I don't know about the blindfold match, Marcus.
You know, here's the thing, Dominic. Scotty Riggs, good worker. Mongo, not a great worker. So like Scotty Riggs could probably get a lot out of him, but if you remember like Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel in the blindfold match at WrestleMania back in the day, there was a lot of gimmicky stuff to help kind of hide. Like obviously neither of those two have any deficiencies. They're both great workers, but the gimmicky stuff I think is going to hide some of Mongo's deficiencies, right? You put him in the blindfold, part of the match is them like walking around the ring trying to find each other. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a fun match.
It's a gamble. I tell you what though, that's a heck of a promo by Mongo. I can very much imagine Mongo. I envisioned Mongo's words, his voice going to those words.
When I'm writing these, I'm honestly trying to picture like, would this guy say this? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, even if it's a good line, I cut it just because I'm like, if he's not going to say it, if that's not something he would say, I'm not including it.
Let's go down into the darkness.
Yeah, right. Let's go fully into the darkness. Nate's saying on 2K20 his blow-offs are always in a Hell in a Cell, dude. That's the way. Man, somebody's got to get thrown off. Somebody's got to get thrown off.
Yeah.
He's also saying, as stupid as those are, the one with Jake the Snake and Martel was entertaining. Absolutely, that was a fun match. Dom, you ever watch that match?
No, I've never watched it.
Hey, we'll go watch it.
I watched the beginning of it maybe, and I was like, I don't know if I want to stick with this.
I mean, two awesome workers. What could go wrong?
A blindfold.
Dude, they can both see.
I know
they're sheer blindfolds.
Yeah, but how do you play that off? That's my thing. It's like, okay,
watch the match. It's good. All right, Nesh is saying I have the ones I ordered on VHS. That's great. So anyone that she ordered, she went and bought on VHS. That's the impression I'm getting, which is a cool idea.
Our place of rental where we'd rent all the videos is burnt down.
Yeah, dude, what a bummer. But nobody gives a fuck about that. All right, Luger is next, and he's selling his ribs, holding those ribs. As for you, Raven and Saturn, you both attempted to burn me tonight, and I've had enough of looking over my shoulder. You two are a pair of cowards, and the time has come for you to face the music against the total package. DDP grabs the mic. That's right, monkeys. I love when DDP would call people monkeys. Me and Lex are going to teach you both a lesson in 6 days at Uncensored, and it's time for us to turn the tables. You've been sneaking up on people, attacking them for long enough. Now you're going to be the ones looking over your shoulders because there's no telling exactly when you're going to feel the bang. Shivani and crew lose their minds as more matches have been set for Uncensored. So, yeah, we're looking at Saturn teaming up with, who is it? Raven against DDP and Lex Luger. That should be fun. And then we got Mongo versus Scotty Riggs in a blindfold match. Come on now. Scotty Riggs is a great worker. Let's get him some a pay-per-view payoff.
Doesn't the blindfold match, though, seem kind of counterproductive in regards that both of them have no vision in one eye?
Both of them lost some vision. And so Mongo's saying, you know what? I'm not satisfied just being 50%. Let's go all the way in.
Okay. He's embracing the darkness.
That's it.
Okay.
Come on now. She recorded them so she could go back and watch them. So she's got like her own recorded VHSs. I'll tell you what, man, the actual VHSs, if you would have bought those back in the day, they are expensive. And that video store that you and I used to go to that burned down, they had a shitload of VHS tapes over there, probably thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, all gone.
Oh man, Marcus, they had.
I was last in there in 2009, and they still had all the same VHSs, Dom. So they had all the WCW pay-per-views, WWF pay-per-views, and they are fucking burned, gone.
Well, they were probably long gone even before they got burned. Maybe they're still around because
no, dude. I think they were still doing rentals.
Yeah, but they're with VHSs, Mark.
Yep. That rumor has it that dude refused to transfer to DVD.
Wow, okay, boomer.
Because he invested so much in VHS. All right, nobody gives a shit about this. I still need an alibi where you were when the store burned down. I wish I could take credit for it. The rumor is actually arson.
Is that the legit rumor?
Dude, that is the rumor. Apparently, he was seen driving around in the area shortly before it burned down.
Oh boy, the Elk County mob's coming after Ferragini there.
I mean, theoretically, he invested thousands and thousands of dollars into those VHSs, and nobody's probably renting them anymore. So he's like, I got to do something here.
And those spas and pools, with the pandemic, nobody's going out swimming there.
Yeah, it was a combination spa and pool place, tanning salon, and VHS rental.
I'd never seen the tanning salon there.
It was in the back by the porn.
Did they have porn there?
Yes.
Did they really?
I can't believe you don't remember this. Dominic, we got a hammer on. We got a hammer on. Nobody gives a damn about our place in our hometown. All right, so up next, Goldberg comes out. His opponent tonight is Wayne Bloom. Bill is going to squash the shit out of Bloom, but not before Bloom gets in some strongman stuff against him. Wayne Bloom was apparently a pretty badass powerlifter back in the day. So, we'll let him get his shit in. He can do some strongman stuff against Bill, manhandle him a little bit before he takes a very stiff spear and jackhammer.
Akin to the Johnny Swinger one that we just saw.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen that video, go check out my Twitter because I shared it. It is a defecate yourself level impact.
Ironic because now Johnny Swinger is an Impact Wrestler.
Hey, how about that? After the match, J.J. Dillon comes out with a mic in hand. Bill Goldberg, you chalked up a lot of impressive wins, and you still remain undefeated in WCW. That being said, I believe that Brian Clark has a legitimate claim against the idea of you having earned a U.S. title shot. That being said, I can still think of one way that you can earn your shot at WCW Gold. At Uncensored, I have scheduled you to face a different NWO member, Buff Bagwell. If you can defeat Buff, you have a shot at Brian Clark. Do you find those terms agreeable? The camera returns to Bill, who's smiling. I'll take that as a yes. Good luck in 6 days at Uncensored. The crowd goes nuts, and we go to commercial. So, Dominic, I'm doing another exposition purge a little. Just a little bit has to happen, and there's more to come. So be aware.
Uh-oh.
That's just saying that this A&E bio on Bret Hart is really good so far. I just recorded the Mick Foley one. It was like a rerun, so I just recorded it last night. So I'm anxious to watch that. I've got Bret Hart recording tonight, so I'm psyched, man. Those are two of the best wrestling autobiographies ever written, too. So if you guys haven't read those,
yeah,
go out of your way.
I heard Mick Foley was the best one so far.
I'm pumped up to see it, dude. His history in pro wrestling, just incredible.
Oh, undeniable.
All right. When we return, it's match 2 of the best of 3 series between Booker T and Kanyon. And I think we all know how this one's going to go down, right? The next event is a pay-per-view. Come on now.
Come on.
Another clinic of a match out of these two pros, but Canyon's going to get a clean win over Booker T. He's not going to cheat. He's not going to use fire. He's getting a clean win over Booker T. Booker's going to miss a Harlem Hangover attempt, and as he's getting back to his feet in a daze, he gets a flatliner from Kanyon.
Flatliner was an awesome finisher.
What a great move. Dude, Kanyon, innovator.
Yes.
There's a video I just saw of, I think he was still Mortis at the time. He gave somebody the buckshot lariat.
Yeah, I saw that too.
How incredible is that?
Man, and like Brian Cage was trained by Kanyon. Like,
was he really?
Yeah. So like that's why Brian Cage always says who better, like at the end of his promos, because
I did not know that.
Nod to Kanyon. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, now I'm an even bigger Brian Cage mark.
Man, it's awesome.
All right, so after the match, as Booker is slowly recovering, he'll look up to find Kanyon over him, grinning evilly. Kanyon will turn the tables on Booker T, because if you remember, Booker T did this after his win. He's going to hold up one finger to him, reminding Booker that the series is tied. We will have a deciding matchup at Uncensored in just 6 days, available only on pay-per-view.
Marcus, what's it sponsored by? We gotta figure that out.
I have no idea.
No,
Castrol.
You want Castrol?
Castrol DPX. No, it's not. They had legitimate sponsors.
Marcus, this is your reimagined WCW. I don't give a fuck.
Dominic, I'm not in fucking ad sales. I'm booking the thing.
But listen, it doesn't matter. That's what it can be. 1-800-COLLECT could be whatever. I'm making the fucking image. That's why I need to know this shit.
It's 10-10-220 then.
You wanted that one with Carrot Top?
Yes.
Damn it.
Okay, so we head back to where Steven Regal is taping his wrists. Tony tells us that he's scheduled to face Conan tonight, but suddenly the Outsiders and Six bust into the room and start beating the absolute dog shit out of him.
Jeez.
The camera follows them as Nash drags Regal out into the hallway. Hall and Six sweep a bunch of crap off the table for him, and Nash power bombs Regal through it. Nash is getting his comeuppance because Regal's put him through 2 tables now at this point, and Nash is fucking pissed off. Nash is saying it should be Snickers or Slim Jim. I think Slim Jim had exclusive rights to Halloween Havoc, if I remember right, and Snickers was just sold out. So I don't know. Hey, if Snickers keeps forking over those damn ad sales monies, I'll make them the sponsor of every one of them.
I can't. I forgot to give one to Super Bowl last pay-per-view, so I need to redeem myself here.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters that much, Dominic. So Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair run in with chair. Oh shit, I'm got ahead of it. Nash powerbombs Regal, and then Nash turns to the camera and cuts a promo. He says, "Regal, when you wake up and watch this back, I want you to know that I'm not anywhere near done with you. In 6 days at Uncensored, I want you in a tables match, and this time I'm going to end your career." So another gimmick match set for Uncensored.
But another gimmick match, Marcus.
I don't give a shit, Dominic. You know, we've been building this thing with table spots. Let's go. Let's make this a gimmicky pay-per-view.
You know what? That's why I could have just took Regal and not Regal, Riggs and Mongo one-on-one, mano-a-mano, just that, no blindfold.
No, dude, there's a vision thing going on. We needed a blindfold match.
Are you sure in your imagined WCW you didn't bring Vince Russo in early?
How dare you? I will never do anything on a pull. Excuse me. All right, so Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair running with chairs in hand. Hall, Nash, and Six Powder and the Gold Standard members check on their fallen comrade as we head to another break. When we return from break, the NWO music is playing and Buff Bagwell comes out, joined by Brian Clark and Scott Steiner, waiting in the ring to face down Buff. For the first time, I think, in my reimagined WCW, is Ernest the Cat Miller.
Oh, Cat. I like the Cat.
Yeah, I like him too. And I do have some future plans for the Cat, but right now he's an enhancement talent. He's trying to further storylines for me. Buff and Ernest will barely get this thing going before Clark and Steiner interfere. They're just going to come into the ring and DQ and just kick the shit out of Ernest. They're going to absolutely tear him apart, each of them hitting their finishers before Steiner locks him in the Steiner recliner. As he applies the move, Clark gets the mic. So if you remember, I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, it was a Disco Inferno match. Yes. And he locked him in the Steiner recliner, and Hogan cut a promo, and he did not relinquish the hold the entire time. And we're doing it again.
Doing it again.
Nesha, she's met Buff. He's a nice guy. I understand that Buff got arrested not too long ago. Feel bad for him. I think he's struggling with some substance abuse issues. Dominic, you spoke to him before, and he seemed like a really genuinely nice person.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. I talked to him briefly for an interview and stuff, and he was promoting a show that he was doing in Georgia, I believe. And yeah, he was a nice dude. It's a shame that he's going through some issues. And it's kind of it's a bummer. It's a bummer to see because Buff was one of our guys when we were kids too. We liked him.
Yep, our dad was a very casual fan, like the kind of guy who just like walks through the room and is just like, "Oh, that guy's cool." And one of that guy's cool guys was Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell and Goldberg.
Yep, he loved Buff Bagwell and Goldberg. So Buff passed the casual wrestling fan test for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, prayers up to Buff. I hope he gets his life together.
Yeah.
All right, so so they're gonna beat him up, the Steiner recliner, and as he applies the move, Clark is gonna jump on the mic. Goldberg, you might be JJ Dillon's little pet cat, but that's not going to help you at Uncensored. What you saw us do here tonight is child's play compared to what we'll do to you. You'll never get a shot at my U.S. title. Never. JJ Dillon comes out again, and he has a mic.
Uh-oh.
Scott Steiner, you release that man immediately, or I'll suspend you for a year. Scott lets go of Miller and stands up to face Dillon. If you three think you're going to make a farce out of every match you're involved in, you better think again. At Uncensored, Bill Goldberg is going to get his chance at a shot at the U.S. title, and it's going to be 100% fair. Buff, you'll take him on completely alone. And if an NWO member interferes, I'll fire you all and strip the belt from you, Brian Clark. The NWO members protest, but JJ walks off. We end hour one with a close-up of the seething face of Brian Clark. So not today, NWO. This whole we're going to interfere in every match. I love Kevin Nash, but in a shoot interview, he was saying at one point, he was like, why would I not interfere if like my buddy like Scott Hall or Six is getting beat up? He was like, we were just trying to inject like some realism here. Like, of course I'm going to come out. If I'm in the back and my buddy's getting beat up, of course I'm coming out. And it's like, I get that. And I love Kevin Nash. I love that he's trying to apply logic to this. But that being said, you cannot interfere in every match. You just can't. And there were constant interferences in WCW because of that. And I think they were also trying to protect some people by having a DQ as opposed to a clean pinfall, but nobody likes it. It was part of what was wrong with WCW. So I'm trying to make JJ Dillon this like, no, don't do that.
Give them a reason to not interfere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing it, if you notice, with like the Wolfpack and the Gold Standard, where like the Gold Standard is kind of like the yin to the Wolfpack's yang, where like if they've got a guy at ringside, so does the Gold Standard. You know what I mean? So they're like fighting back, fire with fire.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good plan.
All right, Jason Michael Campbell is saying, I'm not sure if anybody's heard, but Ringside News has reported Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. That would be a fun match. Yeah,
I think let me just say this. Don't trust Ringside News. I'm not saying that this is an inaccurate report or anything like that, but Ringside News is very unreliable. They'll sensationalize things and things like that. I've been more than happy to kind of criticize them because they've been very inaccurate with a lot of things, just across and just damaging to not only wrestlers, promotions, and just kind of gives some wrestling websites a bad name in general. So, but yeah, I've heard talk about that leaning towards it. So I would imagine, if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably accurate, but because just how the chips have been falling. But yeah, don't go to Ringside News for your stuff. Hey, maybe go to WrestleZone. Hey,
yeah. I mean, if you guys want a real credible news source, you want to turn to WrestleZone for any of your wrestling news needs. Obviously, there's a couple other good ones out there, but come on now. Dominic works for this one. You got to stick with WrestleZone.
Yeah, there's other good ones. Like you can always rely on like Fightful and certain things like that too. But yeah, stuff like Ringside News, stay away from because they're not always accurate. But okay.
James Espanto Fernando Tagoe. Big Papa Pump is your hookup holler if you hear me. Love Big Papa Pump. I love this character. I was really happy to just kind of do basically exactly what WCW did and bring him back in. And by the way, we're not done with him for the night.
Yeah. Ooh, really?
That's correct. Jason's like, hey man, I know, but it just came across my phone, so fucking back off, Dominic.
So pump the brakes, Tom. Fucking glaring glasses, motherfucker. All right.
I
respect that, Jason.
Absolutely. Anthony is saying, how are you guys? Have book the $1 Million Club correctly in WCW? I think he's saying, are we going to book the $1 Million Club properly?
I forgot about the $1 Million Club.
Me too. There's a lot of forgettable stuff in that area. I think that was the era. I think that was the same era as like the Filthy Animals and shit. So
New Blood.
I don't know. We sort of have it right with the Gold Standard. Isn't that sort of like a similar faction?
I can't remember who was in the $1 Million Club. Was it like Mike Sanders and stuff?
Oh, I don't know, dude.
I can't remember.
I don't know. That was like I was very checked out on WCW at that point.
I was still like holding on by a thread, but very much by a thread.
Was that the same era when like the Maestro showed up?
Yes, and then they also had the Kiss Demon.
Nesha liked the Animals. I liked Rey Mysterio's edginess. I'll say that.
I didn't like Rey Mysterio with the horns and the overall
and the no mask.
Yeah, and the no mask.
All right, let's hammer on to hour 2, Dominic. We return for hour 2, and Bret Hart is making his way to the ring, with that sweet music that I can't remember the name of.
Tragically Hip, though.
There you go, Tragically Hip.
They are really good, that band, by the way.
All right. Sorry, I was just reading what Jason said. I guess Kevin's working for them now.
No, he's not working for them. He's working for Sportskeeda.
Oh, that's right. He is. Dude, Kevin's a good guy.
Yes. Shout out.
All right. So Bret Hart's coming out, waiting for him in the ring. We've got La Parka. The announcers remark on how La Parka is alone for once instead of joined by his brothers in Los Latinos. So like, hey, Guerrero, he's usually cheating. You know, he's out there with Chavo, kind of playing the numbers game. So what's going on here?
Something stinks in El Paso.
Bret Hart will, of course, win this match. He's going to beat La Parka with a sharpshooter. But while his hand is being raised in victory, the announcers are going to throw to a developing scene backstage where Eddie Guerrero and Chavo are destroying Jim Neidhart. They are just whooping that ass beside another loading dock. And after beating on him thoroughly, they're going to throw him off of the loading dock to the concrete below. Of course, there's going to be like a pad or something down there. You know, we don't need to be hurting Jim Neidhart legitimately.
Yeah. Right.
The camera cuts back to Bret, who is being informed by the referee as to what's happening backstage, and he takes off running. When we get to the back scene, Bulldog is there checking on Jim, but Eddie and Chavo have both run off. Bret gets there shortly after to also check in on Jim, and we go to a quick break. Mm-hmm. When we return, Mean Gene is standing by as paramedics load Neidhart into an ambulance, and Hart and Bulldog are watching. Gene approaches Bret. Bret Hart? I wish I could do a good Gene.
Bret Hart?
Bret Hart, you've defeated La Parka here tonight, but ultimately the night has taken an awful turn as Eddie and Chavo Guerrero have hospitalized your brother-in-law and Hart Dungeon member Jim Neidhart. What is next for your group and family? What's next is this, Gene. I'm putting a stop to Eddie Guerrero. At Uncensored, the British Bulldog and the Hitman are going to take Eddie and Chavo apart. And Eddie, this time I'm going to get my hands on you. I'm going to make you tap out and quit to the sharpshooter. And if I don't, I'll never ask you for a match again, and the Hart Dungeon will disband. If I do, you have to give me that singles match at Spring Stampede so I can show you once and for all who truly is the excellence of execution.
Oh.
All right, let's read some shit. The $1 Million Club. Hang on. Somebody's enlightening us as to the $1 Million Club. It went away. The $1 Million Club was Ric Flair, Kevin Nash, DDP, Booker T, and Hulk Hogan. What a crazy stable. That is nuts.
Yeah, man. That's kind of just going off the rails, WCW.
Oh, he was saying it was Sportskeeda, dude.
Yeah, I saw that. So, yeah, Sportskeeda, they're good. So you're all right then. Yeah, just stay away from ringside.
James, thanks for plugging us. Let's go ahead and jump in on that real quick, Dominic. You can follow me on Twitter at Marcus P. DeAngelo. I just hit 101 followers. Excuse me. I just hit 101 followers, and one of them, Dominic, was Parker Boudreaux or whatever that dude's name is.
Yeah, how about that, Marcus?
Yeah.
Is that the first wrestler following you, or do you have another one?
No, I have a bunch. Thunder Rosa follows me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ivan Koloff, I think, follows me.
Well, no, Ivan Koloff has passed on, Marcus, so he is not following you.
Somebody follows me.
Is it Nikita?
Nikita Koloff. There it is.
I don't think I have Nikita following me.
Hey, Nikita likes me, man.
Wow.
But you can follow this podcast, WCW Rewritten, at WCW Rewritten. Go ahead and give us a follow. You can also shoot us messages and shit through there. You can follow my slapdick brother over there, Dominic DeAngelo, at Dominic DeAngelo. You can follow our other podcast, which is Two Dynamite Dudes with Attitude, where we cover AEW Dynamite every week. You can follow that at the number 2 Dynamite Dudes, and you can follow WrestleZone at WrestleZone.com. Go to WrestleZone.com for all of your wrestling news needs. All the other websites suck. I'm just kidding. There's plenty of good ones out there.
Marcus, Jason says, first time checking in the show. Wow, I guess I want to see it in order for me to understand it, because I don't get why it's called Rewritten. Marcus here is just rewriting WCW from Starrcade 1997. Jason, you can check it out by going to SoundCloud, our SoundCloud thing. We have a playlist there, but you can also go on the YouTube channel here. And I have a playlist set up there on our WrestleZone channel. So check it out there too. So there's a couple options you can do it, but just look for WCW Rewritten. 14 episodes in, I think, at this point. So it's pretty easy to catch up on. So yeah, that's how it's going right now.
Anthony's asked Dom, instead of having Ray with the Filthy Animals, why not pair him up with Eddie and Chavo? So Eddie and Chavo are now in a group called Los Latinos, which is basically the LWO, but I hated that it was a derivative of NWO, so I've called them Los Latinos. And Ray in storyline right now is out getting knee surgery. So it legitimately around this time he needed a knee surgery. He was out until July. So around July we can expect to see Rey Mysterio back in my version of WCW. Nesha, this is our first WCW Rewritten. Thanks for joining us, Nesha. By all means, go check out the archives. We've got a lot of content up there already, and I've rebooked some pretty incredible events, including Eddie Guerrero taking on Roddy Piper.
That's one of your best ones yet, I think.
Yeah, we've had some really, really cool storylines leading up to that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. I got to pull back up my notes here because we went off on a damn tangent. All right. So Gene puts over the exciting match that we just heard about Bret Hart and the Bulldog taking on Chavo and Eddie in just 6 days at WCW Uncensored. The announcers, what in the world did I text here?
You text up.
Use the main event for the... Okay, so the announcers inform us that the main event for the evening has been set. Tonight, Sting has ridiculously even, agreed to put his World Heavyweight title on the line against Bryan Adams of the NWO.
Tonight.
Marcus,
that's unbelievable.
Just 6 days before Uncensored, Dominic. What a crazy move. Bobby Heenan questioned Sting's intelligence, saying that it could be a huge mistake for him to have a match against such a massive opponent before having to face Hogan in a cage at Uncensored in just 6 days, only on pay-per-view.
Sponsored by 1-800-COLLECT.
Anthony's asking, have we considered doing ECW Rewritten or TNA Rewritten? I've considered not even doing this. Yeah, we've just got there's not a lot of spare time on our hands. So yeah, I mean, Colin Tessier, who's also WrestleZone, I think that he mentioned that he would like to do a TNA Rewritten podcast, possibly down the line. It's there's Dominic and I, full disclosure, this is not our full-time job for either of us. This is not even a job for me. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just kind of coasting on Dominic's coattails. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if this was a full-time gig, I might consider doing some stuff like that. But no, as of right now, it's I'm just a regular old working
baby.
Just a regular working stiff. Anyways,
ECW would be fun though.
Dude, could you imagine rebooking ECW? Especially because they did have a relationship. Oh, my cat doing a running. Especially because they did have a relationship with WWE. Allegedly, WWE, Vince McMahon, was sending Paul Heyman something like $5,000 a week, I want to say, to help keep ECW afloat.
Hey, somebody had to pay those wrestlers.
Absolutely. It sounds like he still wasn't. So where was all that money going?
Yeah.
In any case, out next, we've got Juventud Guerrera, and he's taking on Brad Armstrong. Juvi will, of course, win this match, but let's just stop for a moment and imagine the type of match that these two would have in the ring. Brad Armstrong, unbelievable worker. Juventud Guerrera, incredible worker. So I think that it could have been a really fun matchup to have, and something that we'd want to give a lot of time to.
Yeah.
Juvi will hit all of his shit throughout the match, including Air Juvi. And for the finish, we're going to get a clean win by the Juice with the Juvi driver and a 450 splash. But As he's celebrating and holds his cruiserweight title above his head, Chris Jericho attacks him from behind. Jericho is going to take Hoovy to the damn woodshed, beating his ass and locking him in a lion tamer until the refs come out to the ring and force him to let go. Jericho's going to celebrate in his usual smarmy way, and we're going to head to a break. So, Chris Jericho last week, he beat the Ultimo Dragon for the #1 contendership against Juventud Guerrera. So, we're going to have a singles match between those two, Hoovy versus Jericho at WCW Uncensored 1998.
My goodness. Hey, this should be a doozy.
Presented by 10-10-220, Dom.
Guys, people are big Juice fans here. You got Nate.
Man. How could you not be? He was fun. And by the way, I have not unmasked the Juice here.
You have? Okay, I couldn't remember if you unmasked him yet.
Nope, he is not unmasked. I don't really intend to unmask him. I know he's a good-looking dude.
That was such a good storyline, though.
I know, but I liked him with the mask. And by the way, I don't know if you guys ever saw this. If you do have the Peacock channel, go back. I think it would have been early '98 where Jericho beats him to get him to unmask. Mm-hmm. And so legitimately in real life, he did not want to do it because it's a part of his culture, right?
Yeah. Right.
So you can see him legitimately break down in tears in the ring whenever he takes his mask off. Yep.
Marcus, do you have the Peacock network?
I don't.
Okay. I wonder if it's in there.
So I watched that happen not all that long ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. I watched that happen and saw him legitimately break down in the ring. Apparently Bischoff threatened his job, told him he would fire him if he didn't lose the mask. So he did what he had to do. But yeah, he was like, he legitimately cries on national television when he takes the mask off. So I'm not going to do that to him, Dominic.
Wow. Guys, if you like Hoovy, let me recommend these past 2 weeks on MLW Underground, Juventud wrestles on MLW Underground. This is back in 2003. So he's wrestling, and he wrestles Jimmy Yang. Now, you know him as Jimmy Wang Yang, but he wrestled Jimmy Yang in one of the singles matches. And, dude, what a match. Like, you want to see some athleticism, Hoovy and Jimmy Yang. Marcus, if you had to guess, who they used licensed music. What did Hoovy come out to?
Pour Some Sugar on Me.
No, way off. Way off.
What was it?
Bulls on Parade.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So check out MLW Underground. The past 2 episodes, Juventud's on both of them. So pretty neat.
I just got chills thinking about Hoovy coming out to Bulls on Parade. That's sweet.
Yeah. Pretty neat stuff to see him. And going against a guy with Jimmy Yang, you want to talk about underrated. Holy shit, Jimmy Yang can do some crazy stuff. Also, Sanjay Dutt's on there too. And freaking insane. Like freaking insane what he's able to pull off of that.
By the way, Jimmy Yang, WCW alum. I think Sanjay Dutt.
Really part of the Young Dragons?
Yep.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
Wow. Boy, potential for Jimmy Yang in Rewritten.
All right, so Dominic, we're moving on to the semi-main event. We've got a squash match wherein Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner is going to be whooping that ass with American hero Jim Duggan. Steiner is going to dominate this match and lock Duggan in the recliner for the definitive victory. Afterwards, he grabs the mic. You know what just occurred to me as I'm reading this? Is that Jim Duggan may have been out at this point in '98. I did not check this against the archives of the newsletter for Dave Meltzer's newsletter. So if you remember, Dominic, didn't Duggan have cancer?
He had cancer at some point. I don't know if it was this early.
Was it 98 or 99? I don't remember.
I think it was 98, but maybe later on. I don't know if it was at that point in time, though.
Well, if that's the case, then, let's just call it some anonymous job guy. I just picked Jim Duggan because I like the idea, like the visual of Big Papa Pump coming up against Jim Duggan, who's like an established superstar. So yeah, apologies if that's the case. I might actually look that up after this is over.
We can always make it a dead man, Marcus.
Yes. So he's going to lock him in the recliner for the victory. And then afterwards, he's going to grab a mic. We're going to get a little Big Papa Pump promo, which was...
What you going to say?
Must-watch TV back in the day, Dominic. Every time he picked up the mic, it's like, what in the hell is this maniac going to say right now? All right. So he says, does everybody see how much better I am without my brother? I don't need him, and I never did. All I need are these, and he flexes, the largest arms in the world. get ready because Big Papa Pump has got your hookup, and WCW is never going to be the same again. So a nice little tight promo from Big Papa Pump. He doesn't have to say much. Just basically, I'm trying to establish him as a rising force, a rising solo force there in WCW. Jason Michael Campbell, Dominic, he's talking about your boy Hammer.
My boy Hammer.
The only problem is they're old episodes, but I love me some Alex Hammerstone, dude. Hammerstone is the best.
He's awesome. Like what they're doing with him in MLW, like he expressed too. I know this is supposed to be timeless episodes, but let me just say, like Hammer, like he's smart, and he knows he's like your classic looking wrestler, but he gets the business too so much. So it's really good to see him in such a prime position and really flourishing as this like open weight champion and vying for the world title too. So,
and by the way, he is starting to look like Big Papa Pump a little bit, not just from like his physique, but like his face. He's actually starting to look like Scott Steiner. So early in his career, he looked like a Triple H, and now he's like morphing into Scott Steiner, and I'm here for it. Jason taking umbrance with Nate, saying, "Nate, how dare you call Hacksaw Jim Duggan?" To be honest, though, at this point, he basically was. He was doing that stupid shtick where he would, like, for his finish, he was pulling a roll of tape out of his pants and wrapping it around his fist and then punching the guy with it. And it was like, what in the fuck are you doing out there, Hacksaw?
He's having fun.
It's stupid. Anthony's saying, Dominic, to be honest, I think they should have booked Scott with the manager because his promos weren't that good in the first place. So like as a traditional promo, nope, he was not very good, but he like undeniably entertaining because you just don't know what the fuck he's gonna say. I feel like they would give him a script or be like, okay, here's your bullet point, Scott, and be like, yep, and just throw it right in the trash.
Yeah, I don't give a
walk
shit.
Out and just walk out there and say whatever he wanted to.
I remember not really liking Scott Steiner promos as a kid because I was just like, he would say such a weird shit too about Freakzillas and really lewd to women kind of thing. And I was like, that's kind of gross. Like,
yeah, no, he was like super misogynistic and just nuts. But let me tell you, dude, like when he cut that promo on Flair and he said, "You got more loose skin than a Shar-Pei puppy," I was like, "Oh boy, that is savage remark."
Wow.
He also like literally told people like, "You guys might as well change the channel because Stone Cold Steve Austin is on the other station." This was like when WCW was dying, and he was like,
"Oh, I remember he would do that
shit."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just did not give fucks, man.
Right. And like I think they were afraid to discipline him because he was like a psycho, and he would like seriously stretch somebody backstage if they gave him a hard time.
And you get Steinerized,
right? So hopefully not the same way Butch Reed did. All right, so Dominic, there's our semi-main, and we're gonna head to commercial. But when we return, it's time for the main event. We've got Sting taking on Bryan Adams for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Sting is going to rappel in from the ceiling or the rafters, obviously. He's going to get a massive pop as usual. And so the story that we're telling here is the classic undersized baby face against the monster heel. So it's, basically going to be Bryan Adams just kind of bouncing him all over the ring. But in the last quarter of the match, he'll start to mount his comeback. I want to protect Adams as a tag team champion here. So we were talking earlier about like DQs and how they were happening a little bit too often. But Bryan Adams just came into the promotion, and he is a tag team champion. So I do want to protect him a little bit. When Sting locks him in the Scorpion, Hogan's going to hit the ring, and he's going to spray Sting in the eyes with his black spray paint, blinding him before whooping that ass. We go off the air with Hogan spray painting NWO on Sting's back as Shivani reminds us that Sting will have his opportunity at revenge in just 6 days at Uncensored in his steel cage, only on pay-per-view, presented by 10-10-220.
How about that?
And that is the end of it, folks. So yeah, we made it. We're at Uncensored 1998. Next week, we'll get moving on that pay-per-view. And man, it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, things are developing, and there's some intriguing stuff going down. Who's going to win the best of three between Canyon and Booker?
Nesh is saying, dude, in 2020, we still have Sting. How crazy is that? And yeah, he's diving off stages. He's having live matches. He actually looks pretty darn good, too. He pulled off that T-shirt, which I was like, okay, he's just always going to have the T-shirt on.
That's what I said, too. That's what I was thinking when I was at the show.
I was like, he's like a flabby old man. I get it. But now he like pulled it off. I was like, damn, he looks good. He's been hitting the gym,
man.
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. Jason, he says he misses Brian Adams and Chronic. Yeah, Brian Adams, rest in peace. Gone too soon for sure, like so many other wrestlers. Underrated talent. Was he great in the ring? No. But you want to talk about having a hell of a look? Brian Adams had it. Super good friends with Macho Man Randy Savage. Super good friends with The Undertaker. I guess The Undertaker was devastated when he passed away.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it's gone way too soon. Great talent. Old school wrestler.
I liked his voice. He had a good voice.
He had an awesome voice and just an unbelievable look.
Yeah. Was his finisher the pump handle slam, Marcus?
Yep, it was.
How'd I remember that?
Or wait a minute. I think it was like a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
Yes, because that was on Revenge.
Yeah, so I believe he had, like, the guy would come off the ropes, he'd pick him up, tilt-a-whirl, and backbreaker, which looks devastating.
Yeah.
You should see Steve Austin without a shirt now. I don't know. Is he still jacked?
Yeah,
I bet he is.
He is, man.
Yeah, I saw him on that actually A&E not too long ago, and his arms were just fucking massive.
Massive. He hugged me, and they were massive.
Nate is asking, which one was Adam Bomb again? That's Brian Clark, our current U.S. champion here on WCW Rewritten.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about having a great look? I put him over like once a week. I love Brian Clark, dude. Awesome look. Big, enormous dude. He's like 6'7", 6'8", just a massive individual. Had everything. Handsome, good look, muscular, tall. I think it was just like his lack of promo ability kind of bit him in the ass at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Brian Clark was always, I remember it was just fun that he was like the secret character on Revenge.
Yes. Yeah, you had to get like a Game Genie or something to unlock him.
Right. No, Game Shark.
Game Shark, that's it. Nesha, she loves these shows and getting to talk wrestling. We do too, Nesha. And, we really appreciate you guys joining us here every week, not only on this podcast, but also on Two Dynamite Dudes. And Dominic, I think that's going to do it this week. Do you have any other questions, comments, concerns before we sign off?
No, I'm cautiously optimistic about the blindfold match. That's all.
Hey man, I know that there's a lot of gimmick matches, but come on now. We're trying to sell a damn pay-per-view here.
I get it. Yeah. The exposition wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, I kind of learned my lesson last time.
Yeah, you prepped a little bit.
Yeah. Nate's wondering where are Tori and Stacy. I don't think either one were with the promotion yet at this point.
No, maybe Stacy was. Nah, she was a Nitro girl, right? Did she start off as a Nitro girl?
I don't know. I have no idea.
She dated George Clooney though.
Hey, Nesha's all about that blindfold match, Dominic. So stick that in your ass.
Well, get ready for a fun Photoshop of Mongo this week.
Yeah, absolutely, with the 76 on the eye patch.
I can't wait. I'm pumped to make that.
Dominic, it has to be the same font as the Chicago Bears 76.
Yeah, of course, Marcus. Who are you talking to here?
I'm just making sure you're on
also,
top of it.
Which eye is it, just to be sure?
Right eye.
Right eye. Okay. All right.
All right, guys. Would have loved to see Kevin Nash and Scott Hall versus Brian Clark and Brian Adams.
Ooh, like Chronic versus the Outsiders.
Boy, that would be something, man. That would be quite something.
A young heel Chronic. I guess they're not young, but like the new Chronic versus
when they were over.
Yeah, babyface Outsiders. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd pay for that one.
Mm-hmm.
This is just reminding me before we sign off, Dominic. Back when Scott Hall was Razor Ramon, he fought Brian Clark as Adam Bomb, and even though Brian Clark is this massive dude, Scott Hall picked him up for the Outsider's Edge, and it is unbelievable.
Wow, I'll have to check that out. It's pretty impressive. Ethan Page is able to pick up people for the Outsider's Edge now.
Dude, he picked up Evil Uno, which is just wild.
He picked up Lance Hoyt.
Evil Uno straight from the buffet. Sorry, guys, that's mean. Evil Uno is kind of growing on me, but I'm excited to see him get squashed by Miro.
Yeah, should be an interesting Dynamite next week. Tune in to Dynamite Dudes.
Yeah, tune in to Dynamite Dudes. Go to WrestleZone.com. Follow us on Twitter at all these accounts that we mentioned already. And guys, have a good night.
Hey, yeah, Mark, we're out of time.
The tape machines are rolling, guys. We'll see you next week right here on WCW Rewritten. Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.